right, we can say supernatural.
Good work.
The strike is over, I think. I don't know. Have you voted yet?
We still have to vote.
We do have to vote.
Aloha!
Aloha.
Mahalo, that's it.
So are there any native Hawaiians here? Amazing. So I would love to ask you, if you're willing to answer, what is the difference between aloha and mahalo? Like when would you use both?
Mahalo's thank you, right?
Is aloha also kind of thank you though?
No, aloha's like, hey, hi.
It's also bye.
It's a greeting.
Let him in, he's Hawaiian.
I got this. I got this.
Was he right?
So aloha is a greeting. It also means love, and mahalo is thank you.
Okay.
We always say we're saying goodbye. We don't say aloha because if you say aloha when you're saying goodbye, it means you'll never see each other.
He's got really sad really fast.
Well, wait, so how would you say, sign off or say goodbye?
You'd say ahui ho, so we meet again.
Ahui ho.
Hui ho? I think that means something different than other languages.
Sorry about him. But mahalo. Alright, that work? Okay. So let's we all traveled all far and wide as have we, so let's get started. I'm gonna just
Go.
Okay.
Get it.
right here. I saw you first.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I think this weekend is exactly 3 years since the finale.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yep, 3 years, exactly.
This is getting from sad to sadder. I told you, Nick. Dang it. It's been 3 years. The last thing we shot was September 10th, 2020. And then, so, yeah, aired to the third. Jesus.
I was just wondering what sticks out to you, like, straight away, like, on those final days of filming. Since I haven't seen you since the Supernatural ended.
Yeah. So much for me. I remember vividly. So it was, COVID had just kind of, I don't want to say ended, I've had it 4 times now, so it keeps on giving. But I remember the 2 weeks that we had spent in quarantine, coming from America into Canada. We had to stay in our places for 2 weeks. And so some of the crew, who'd been in quarantine, would come leave like care packages, you know? They'd be like, shoot text like, hey, there's some food, there's some vitamins, or some Gatorade or something outside your door. And so open it up and do that. And then he and I and Rob and Jacob would text each other. And I remember our Zoom conversation with each other.
We had party Zooms. We had party Zooms.
Yeah.
Lockdown. Yeah.
And then every day, I also remember very vividly, the bridge, the barn. I remember when they told me, I remember we shooting the last scene in the middle of this bunker, and then they were like, yeah, we start breaking it down tomorrow. And so sitting in there, I think y'all cried during the barn scene. Should have seen me in the bunker when they were gonna tear it down. It's like trying to grab shit. I did. So there were a lot of real books in there, a lot of which I took. And then there were like fake book fillers that I use as bookends. And then there was stuff that I've seen for the last 3 years and been like, what am I gonna ever do with this? Maybe I'll auction it for charity.
Let me tell you what I grabbed. So in the bunker there's the 2 library tables that we sat around all the time. I didn't take a table, but one of the tables had some initials carved into it. And I asked them, I was like, what's going to happen to this table? And they're like, nothing, we're going to probably break it down and scrap it. So I was like, will you cut that out? So I have this like that table, it's got all our initials carved into it. So I have that collecting dust somewhere.
Thank you. All right, apples.
I remember being very sad, and hang on! Because everybody, it was, 2020, and the whole crew was masked up, and we couldn't spend time. Now, normally, like, I would say most shows or experiences on a show, the actors work very closely with the hair and makeup team. Did you win the lottery? Oh, you're watching football.
Well, happy birthday to you, shut up. Browns won something?
Are you a Browns fan in here? Are you the only one? Is it April 1st today? Is this like
Dallas won. Yeah, Dallas won. Dallas did win.
All right, well, let me bring it back down. So the whole crew, so we usually, like, the actors on a set, film set, TV set, they work very closely with your hair and makeup, your wardrobe, your camera department, your directors, your other actors. And so that was out, what were we calling them, like, not pods, or... So they divided the crew up into different colored groups, and it's like, if you're in the red, then you can get near the actors and you can cut, but if you're yellow, then you have to stay off set. And so they divided us all, they separated all of this. And for a show that's been on for 15 years, we've worked with these people for so many years, they were all family. And so being forced to not interact with people that you were used to interacting with every day, and then knowing you were about to cross the finish line, and you wouldn't be able to do it together, it was really heartbreaking. So that was, I remember that just being like a big deflated aspect of the show coming to an end when it did. And, but as soon as we were off set, the masks came off and the hugs happened. So.
This is the saddest morning of all time. All right, you pick that fucking happy question.
As I'm right here. Yep. Yes.
Oh, the family business shirt. Oh, you're cheating.
So my question's for Jared. I'm just joking.
No worries. What would you like to know?
Yes, well, it's really for both of you. So Jared, it's been impressive to watch you on Walker and Walker Independence and all these things. And Winchester like that. What I wonder though is how busy you both are. Like, what is next after this for you with Walker? I'm still trying to get on close. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
And call me in 6 times, one more time.
Okay, all right.
And then Jensen would love to know what both of you are planning to do kind of next, and how long will Walker last? How long do you think the next project will last?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. That's a great question, and I guess those conversations are starting now that SAG and WGA aren't on strike. Still pretty preliminary, because again, SAG hasn't ratified the vote. And I gestured to him like it's his fault. Like, kids at work.
Get right on it.
I've been very lucky and fortunate in Austin to have a great cast and crew, and I'm looking at my boy Keegan over there right now. Yeah, he's been segregated. Don't look anybody in the eyes. I don't know. I said this for many years, and I feel like I've been made a liar, but it just is the way it happened. Like, I really do want to get off camera. I do want to. I love reading, and I had a chance to read a lot, and so I'd love to be a part of helping make stories more available to people. Not everybody has a chance to, spend several days or several weeks with a book. But if you can make it into a 2-hour movie or an 8-episode series, so there's stories that have meant a lot to me and mean a lot to me, but I'd love to try and help get made. So that's ideally, again, man plans, God laughs. But I think my plan in March was to get back to work in July. So I don't know what I'm doing.
Let's get back to work day.
In the future, I won't do that anymore. I can control. The rest of it is out of my hands. I'm trying to make peace with that. Ackles?
What's next? Probably a haircut.
we said haircut, and 98% of the people went,
They give me.
I'll make the haircut too.
Oh, God, I'm sweating.
You look handsome no matter what, bro. Some moves for that.
I don't know what is. I mean, there are a few things kind of on the horizon. I was speaking about this a little bit in the meet and greet yesterday, but though, like Jared said, those conversations are now starting to happen now that the strike is somewhat concluded. So just had a conversation this past week about some upcoming possibilities for some projects. So yeah, I don't think anything's really, nothing's popping off this year. Like it'll all be spring because it's, you know, by the time these scripts get greenlit, and then they have to staff up, and then they have to cast, and then they have to, I mean, there's a lot of pre-production that goes into doing these projects. So yeah, nothing is, I think the soonest anything would really happen, if it's not already like locked and loaded, ready to go, like Walker, would probably be the springtime. You know, so I would say March, I might have a call sheet. But when I do, I will let you know.
Hurry up.
What? You say hurry up? I'm trying!
I see.
Thank you.
Ryder, thank you. I see in the black shirt, you've had your hand up for quite a while. Yes, with the glasses and the fingers.
The far edge?
Yeah. Standing, it appears. Wait, is that a Mark Shepard shirt? Never mind.
Yes, it's Crowley. I'm sorry.
Hello, boys.
Hello, darling. My question is for Jensen. I was wondering what it was like working on your season of Smallville.
What was it like working on Smallville? Oh, remember that? Was I on Smallville?
In your teenage years.
You mean Tom's show? It was cool because they, and I forgive me for those who've heard me say this a million times, but the show was going, it was a success, and I had come really close to getting the role of Clark, and some other guy who beat me. They said he looked like Superman, whatever. And so I think the writers were always had kind of kept me in the back of their mind of like, oh, maybe just available down the road and find a way to use him. Come season 4, they were like, you know, we're just gonna create a role for him. So they brought me in and they pitched me this idea of, you know, a young coach coming back and I was like, Tom's older than I am. You want to play as a coach? So it was
They should have had you play Bruce Wayne. Comes in from New York. I mean,
Bruce Wayne ended up in Smallville.
he was on his jet or something.
Here you guys, my jet broke down. You know any good football players around here that might be able to fly me back to Manhattan?
Maybe he like owned a nice restaurant or something. Can you check out?
I was like, he's dead.
I'm rewriting it in my head.
Oh, keep writing.
That place is gonna bring it back. He's gonna be Bruce Wayne. Good Tom back
So I went on and it was a good time. It was filming in Vancouver and made some friends. Obviously, it still got one here this weekend. You know, from a long time ago. No Tom longer than I've known this guy. But I had a really good time. I was supposed to do 2 seasons on that show, and about halfway through, well, about 3/4 of the way through the season, a little show called Supernatural came up, and they were like, "Oh, he's already on the network. So is the other guy. Let's just pluck them off those 2 shows and we'll give them their own show." So they had to call Gilmore Girls, they had to call Smallville and be like, "Hey, we're gonna need these 2 actors, so you need to wrap it up with them." So mine was like a horrible death. Like It was like, I didn't have anything. I just vanished. He just really died. He just stopped talking about me. Yeah, I like what was it, like the hurricane or something that killed me? That was a meteor. Yeah. I think it was like an act of God. Yeah, it was a meteor. But it never showed you again. So I think they
You're actually Bruce Wayne.
they kind of kept it like, they're like, did he die? I don't know. But I think that was in case Supernatural didn't succeed, they could probably bring me back in some capacity.
Yeah.
But, you know, look, I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was so fortunate there was only one season, but again, I had something else coming up. We had work to do.
Between Smallville and Different Girls, the original title of Supernatural was Small Girls. It's a working title, they changed it. So I thought,
Yeah, and we were all supposed to have long hair, but I remember telling Tom when the pilot got picked up, we shot the pilot of Supernatural like while Smallville was still happening, so they had to write me out pretty quickly. And we went down to LA and we shot the pilot. And I remember telling Tom, I was like, hey, we're gonna work in LA. Have fun up here in Vancouver. Not kidding. And Jerry and I we're like, this is awesome. We're gonna shoot right here in our backyard. We're gonna, because I was still living technically in LA.
we lived like within a mile of each other.
Yeah, and then, and so I was kind of razzing Tom. I was like, because he'd been up in Vancouver for 4
Enjoy
years.
cold and
I was
wet.
like, have fun. We're gonna be in sunny California. And then they literally, the 11th hour, while we were in New York, they were like, oh, and by the way, guys, you'll be filming in Vancouver.
That's not a word of a lie. Not a word of a lie. For those familiar with LA, there was a studio in, like just Sherman Oaks, I suppose? Southwest Studios, I don't know what it's called. But basically in the valley. And that's where we shot a lot of the pilot. And then show gets picked up. Awesome. We get sent to New York. Awesome. We're gonna do a season or whatever. Awesome. We're at Nobu in like Lower Manhattan with some execs, and we're all excited. Like I got new clothes and took me to like even Marcus is like, dude, you can't have pants with holes in it. So we go, I got a purple shirt.
He used to wear jeans that were so ripped in the back, he had stapled them together.
Side note, very true. And when Jen and I met and started dating, I still had, because I loved new pants, but they were boot cut, and so they got ripped, and they would rip more, so I just stapled them. And then they vanished one day when I was out of town. I was like, hey, Genevieve, have you seen my pants, the blue ones with the staples? She's like, no? Nope. But yes, so back to we're at the Upfronts in New York, and show's picked up, and we're there with like all the brass. And they're like, okay, well, we'd like to raise a toast. I'm like, yeah, we would too. Congratulations, this show's gonna be great, and I know you're gonna enjoy your time in Vancouver. I was like, what's this mean?
What's Vancouver mean? I will say that Tom never like gave me an I told you so. We went up to Vancouver, and I think he invited us out to dinner. And he just simply goes, welcome back.
You remember Morton's when the three of us went out? So every now and again, like we wrap early on Thursday or Friday or Wednesday or whatever, and be like, hey, let's get a steak at Gotham or Morton. We'd like to get a steak, like Texas boys. Take me, you know. And so we text Tom like, hey dude, we're off early. I don't know if you are too, but we're going to go to Morton's like at 7 p.m. He was like, cool, see you there. And then we're there, and the dinner's over. And he's like, y'all didn't have to do this for my birthday. We're like, what? Like, it's your birthday? Yeah. I'm like, oh, well shit, we were just inviting you out. He thought we were like taking him out for his birthday. He was like, yeah, cool. I was like, all right, well, it was April, it wasn't the end of the season.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, yes sir. Yep.
Sorry, Jared Jensen, this is for both of you. So high school I did some acting, so I know what it's like to kind of get into a character. So what's it like after 15 years moving on to Soldier Boy and Walker, when I assume after 15 years being in a character, you can basically think like that character. So what's it like to move into something different after that long? Like basically the death of a character into a new one?
Yeah,
Good
good
question.
question. Thank you. I've started to think about it as everybody in this room does it every day. If you're with your loved one, you're this person. If you're tired, you're this person. If you're with your kids, you're this person. If you're at a restaurant, you're this person. If you're at your job. So we're all so multifaceted that it's sort of like, okay, I know where Sam's facets and tendencies lay. Cordell has some overlap, obviously. But I think we all do it, without even really thinking about it. And you acted in school, you said?
Yeah, I did that. I was Romeo and Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, no shit.
Did you guys ever heard of the Dearly Departed?
I have
Small
not.
show. I played Royce. His mom calls him Satan.
Very
I
cool.
have a black shirt that says Satan on the back. It's a black shirt from the
You've got good projection.
I need one of these.
military.
I didn't get. Thank you for your service. I'm happy somebody got Romeo. I got Mercutio when I did my school play of Romeo and Juliet, so better than I am. But yeah, I think we all do it, right? It's like how do you get into any character, and what, when you're around your parents, you're like, okay, I'm not going to say fuck. You kind of like lean into different aspects of your personality. And you're not being fake. You're just like, okay, like I'm at a nice dinner, I'm gonna behave myself, which is rare for me. What? How are you with me? Yeah, thanks, buddy.
I had the benefit of something that Jared did not when I went from Dean to Soldier Boy. And that was, I was doing it
Rubber suit?
I was doing it in front of the guy who had created both roles. And I mean, he didn't create Soldier Boy, but he was taking the inspiration from the god and adapting it for the screen. So he was molding it for me specifically. And so it wasn't just Kripke, but it was also Phil Sacretia, who was a director producer on Supernatural for 12 years maybe. So both of those guys had seen me play Dean for almost the entire run and knew intimately how the aspects of that character that I played. So when I was doing Soldier Boy, it was in front of these two guys who see me as this other character for so long, and I said, just tell me if you see my Dean coming out. And so I was very conscious of it. I was, I tried to, like Jared said, highlight a different aspect of my personal character, but then also maybe parroting some other types of characters that I had witnessed. And I've said this before, like I used a couple of old actors from the 40s and 50s. Lee Marvin was one that I looked and watched his interviews, not his roles and not his acting and stuff in film, but I just watched how those guys kind of carried themselves and spoke, and so I used that as kind of an inspiration to mold this character. And I just tried to stay away from things that were very Dean-esque. And I remember the biggest compliment I got after I'd been playing Soldier Boy for a few weeks. Eric sent me a note, and he was like, all I can say is, I don't see Dean Winchester anymore. I said it myself. But he's still in there.
That's great. I think I had a similar moment, not with Kripke, obviously, but it was mine was more bittersweet, like a double-edged sword, because mine, after a few episodes of Walker, they were like, I didn't know you were funny. I think I'm very funny. So,
Yes.
Jordan does it.
That's funny. It's you.
No, oh yeah, it is. I see a mask and a red phone, and I'm just making sure it's a phone, not a bomb, so... Who knows?
Very funny, Jared.
Very fun.
Hilarious. What's that?
Susan from Garland.
Garland, Texas.
Garland. Yeah.
Inspiration for Arlen, Texas. King of the Hill? Anybody? Yep. Okay. Yeah, they just dropped the G. Fun facts for you on a Sunday morning.
So, question I have for y'all. For each of your characters in Supernatural, what was their biggest regret? What's Sam's biggest regret here? What's Dean's biggest regret?
What's Sam's biggest regret?
It's not funny.
I think it rhymes with Jamelia. I think he felt really sad.
Not well.
Directly guys.
No, I think Sam felt best when he was in a relentless pursuit of his brother. And so obviously they had an incident in a barn, and his brother implored him to not relentlessly pursue how to bring him back. So I think that's Sam's big mind. And Leanne, the actress, is wonderful, lovely. So it wasn't that, it was more like
The story aspect.
yeah, it was a story aspect. I'm an actor, so right, it's like Anchorman, where they all read what's on the teleprompter. So I did it, I tried to make it make sense for Sam, but it didn't feel right for me. And it was great writing, like it wasn't bad writing, it was, we hadn't gone there in 8 seasons, and it was interesting to explore it. So it kind of really fleshed out the character, helped me flesh out the character. But I'd say that was probably my biggest regret, yeah. Sam. Don't Freudian.
Dean's biggest regret?
Oof, that taco that killed you? It tastes funny.
Still the best dad.
Never getting sad.
For rebar. Out. Chris Herb. Out. She said rebar. It's inappropriate.
Probably not being more promiscuous as being a Dean. I think Dean could have been like, hey, I was a demon. What's that?
Oh, the Sam went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam did it. I was like, you can do it.
Yeah, why don't you do some pull-ups or something?
Let's do this between the sheets.
Amazing.
Yeah, Dean has no regrets.
No regrets? No, zero regrets. Are we getting pulled? Is that what's going on? I see that.
I mean,
That's it? No more questions?
Aloha.
One more question? One more question. I just said one more, you can do one more question.
You can yell it.
I'm gonna get in trouble now. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on bridge.
The Boys is a different show.
Our boys, when we last saw them, the original boys, exactly. We can assume 2 things are going to happen after that, in this, if we continue the story, right? Sam and Dee are going to have a conversation where they're going to talk about Sam's life after he lost his brothers. And he'll tell him that he had a son, and he had a Dean, all that. And then 2, theoretically, he's going to have raised his boy to be a good man. He'll end up in heaven, where he can see his dad again and meet his uncle. So for Sam and Dean, how do y'all think those kind of scenes would play and what they would mean for those characters? And
Thank you.
Well, that was not a short question. Oh, we gotta go? Okay.
My mom is an English teacher, and this is her favorite student in person of all time, so it makes sense that she's asking a very
A highly thought-provoking question.
question. I will say, not to try and dodge it, but I have some ideas, and I hope now that the writers are back and actors are back, that we all get to see it together.
We get to see those scenes played out in real life. on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some conversations regarding that conversation that are being had.
In the meantime, love y'all. See you later.